Yo, what is up everyone? Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes reaction video to this month's legendary and mythic hero that has just been revealed. And yeah, it's not too surprising because this is to wrap up book 6. They've done this before with like Freya and Triandra and Thorn Atri. You know, that's not the first time legendary and mythic heroes have appeared at the same time. But I was kind of expecting Elm, but I guess Elm and Ash, they kind of didn't have as much appearances, especially near the end of the book. So I mean, it makes sense for sure for Veronica to be here because she was a central character in the last book, and she has her new design. She's on the cover of the app, so I'm happy for Veronica. I'm definitely warmed up to her, and of course, she's one to choose her legend. She's a very popular character, so definitely makes more sense than Elm. But I kind of expected Elm to follow Embla, I guess. But either way, we have two red mythics here, and we'll get to Embla in a second. And both of these characters here as units are insane for sure. So here is Legendary Veronica. She is a red mage cavalier this time, and she's a wind pair up legendary hero. And she's very strong. We fought her in the story, so we kind of know what she does. I think her weapon was similar, or at least the same to this. So let's go over her kit. So Enclosing Dark gives her -1 special cooldown. If unit initiates combat or is solo, she grants attack speed +6 to unit during combat, and also has partial no follow-up. And then she has following effects that will happen based on the number of foes within 2 spaces of the target. So if there is 1 within 2 spaces of the target she's attacking, she inflicts speed res -4. And then if it's greater than or equal to 2, she inflicts speed res -8. So even further offenses and just weaken the foe. And the foe can counterattack. So you have, if you get the second condition for having greater than or equal to 2 foes within the foe you're attacking, you get the fire sweep effect, which is not that hard. And then also if she initiates combat in general, she can have the desperation effect. So this weapon is very, very stacked, and there's not really much to stop her from doubling unless you, of course, be faster than her, but that's going to be incredibly hard with her offenses and also inflicting speed res -4 and up to speed res -8. So I remember fighting her in the story mode. The only way I could really tank her and kill her off in the enemy phase was setting up Brave Marth's Vantage and having no C disrupt, because she's not going to be very bulky, so she's going to be able to die. So Vantage is definitely a way to take her out. I mean, it's not too new. Obviously we have a lot of offensive mages that can't take hits, but for Veronica here, she has everything you'd want: no follow-up, desperation, and fire sweep effect. So even if you're a save tank, like Brave Hector and Ascended Dune, who can take a lot of magic hits from especially red foes, they might not want to because they could still get chipped down with her because she can hit really hard. So Enclosing Dark's a very good weapon, and then to match it with it, she has Enclosure, which is a 2 cooldown special, and it boosts special damage by 25% of her attack. And a special trigger, she stops damage reduction completely from stuff like Spurn, Close Call, stuff like that. And then also stops the guard effect. So for a second when I saw this, I thought this was going to be inheritable. But I was crazy to think that it was. I don't think it is, because this is way too good to be inheritable. Mages have been looking for that damage reduction piercing special for a long time, and Enclosure is just a little too good. And the fact that it's called Enclosure, and the fact that legendary heroes all have to have some kind of PRF skill besides their weapon, I believe, this is definitely Veronica's skill to keep. So I'm glad it is, because if you can give this to any mage, it'd be kind of ridiculous. So with Enclosure here and her Enclosing Dark, she has pretty much everything you'd want in an offensive mage: having -1 special cooldown, having extra offenses, having debuffs on the foe, having partial no follow-up, fire sweep, and desperation, and damage reduction, and the ability to ignore guards. So she's very stacked, and it's definitely an amazing combo here for those 2 skills. The only thing I guess she's missing is like stopping buffs, but of course you can just run a lull skill if you want to replace this trace skill, but of course it's a trade-off. And then she comes with attack speed catch 4 to further her offenses, of course, and then Panic Smoke 4. So I definitely didn't expect Panic Smoke 4, because I think, I don't know, I mean, I guess we've been getting a lot of Panic or Smoke 4 skills in general lately this year, so not too surprising, I guess. But yeah, Panic Smoke 4 basically has the normal effect of the Panic Smoke 3, giving panic on the target and foes within 2 spaces of the target, but also you inflict -3 on them during after combat. So you get further debuffs and panic, so that's going to really cripple them. And then to further cripple them, they also get foe penalty doubler, or the unit gets foe penalty doubler. So this basically is doubles the penalty on the foe. So for this skill, if you have -3 like it gives naturally, that's going to be -6. So it's basically like bonus doubler, except just for penalty. So any unit that does not have a unity skill, or it is not Legendary Marth or Fallen Ike, is not going to like this skill, because you are going to be injured to all hell. So you have to watch out for her, because even if you can't survive and you have buffs, she's just going to be able to just murder you pretty much with the debuffs and panic. So you have to watch out, and I think she's going to be a really obnoxious unit to tank, because naturally you think, oh, I can just run buffs, you know, and survive and buff my res, but after combat, even if you live or she lives, you know, you're just gonna be crippled. So I guess she doesn't really need the lull skill. I guess, you know, Trace is definitely better here for her, but you can still run other skills. But yeah, Panic Smoke 4 is definitely amazing for her. So Veronica is just a premium nuke and a premium red mage. I'm sure, you know, some units like my Kayas that are invested can still kill her because she's a cavalry unit. Again, she's not bulky, so she'll still die in the counter hit, but she's gonna deal a lot of damage to even some of the best blue mages, I feel like, or at least annoy them and scare them. So that is Legendary Veronica, very strong, one of the strongest mage cavaliers and mages in general in the game so far. So yeah, I really love her book 6 design, so I'm glad she got a legendary. And that is Legendary Veronica. So we'll go next to her, the name of her kingdom, Embla. So Embla is also pretty insane in her own ways, and I think she's actually going to be really meta influential. She is a dark mythic this time, which makes sense, of course. And the god of closure here also is the god of anti-saves, because she's the first unit in the game to really directly counter save units. And we'll get to her skills. She is a dark mythic, of course, and she is a red beast flyer. So yeah, Embla is the first anti-save unit. You heard that correctly. And it took a while. How long have saves been in the game? Like a year? A little over a year? Almost 2 years? So now we have a unit that can really counter them. And not only does she have that, she also has a feud skill. I'm getting ahead of myself, but let's go over her kit, because she's just really insane. So Enclosing Claw gives them a -1 special cooldown. At the start of combat, if she's alive, she grants plus $5 stats and inflicts penalty on the foe's attack speed defense during combat, equal to the number of foes within 3 columns or 3 rows centered on unit, max equal 9. So she just punishes you for existing pretty much and having your team exist. And she also has the guard effect, which is crazy because, you know, she's a flyer and that's normally an infantry only beast effect. So she has that as well. And then also, if the number of foes within 3 columns or 3 rows centered on unit is greater than 2, she also has no follow-up, and then she also has guard on them. So she not only can she stop guard, she can also inflict guard on you. And then at the start of the turn, she has the standard effect for flying beasts. She'll be able to move in extra space, and she also gets attack +2. So this weapon is very, very stacked, just like Veronica's weapon. Has so much potential to just destroy people. Extra stats, penalty on their stats, you know, anti-guard, has guard. It's kind of similar to Veronica, I guess. Veronica's weapon a little bit, having extra stats and further debuffs, and then also having no guard. Obviously she doesn't have a PR special, but still, this weapon is very, very good and also has partial follow-up. So it's kind of similar to Veronica now that I think about it. But yeah, so this is really, really strong. She comes with Draconic Aura, attack speed clash, so now we don't have to fodder Brave Self every time for this skill. And she comes with Beast Agility 3. So this is a new beast skill, which is, I'm sure, inheritable to every single beast because it has the 3 on it. So this basically is very simple. It removes the condition for a beast to transform. So no longer, if you have this skill, do you have to be next to a beast or dragon or alone on the map. So you can just transform no matter what. And this is huge because you don't have to worry, because she's a defense mythic, she's a dark mythic, you don't have to worry about putting her next to Medius or something. You could just put her next to anyone and she'll still be able to transform and get her effects, like moving in extra space, which is huge because before you can kind of play around avoiding beasts and stuff by making them not transform and making sure, or hoping the AI will not make them adjacent, or I keep saying adjacent, alone or next to a dragon or beast. But now it doesn't matter with Embla here because she'll be able to transform no matter what. So Beast Agility 3 is really good for her especially. It's going to be an inheritable option for a lot of other beasts too, for sure, because it has the partial no follow-up if you have faster speed, and Embla here definitely has the speed for it. So Beast Agility is really amazing. And then the best part about her, Severance. So this is the anti-save. So at the start of turn, she inflicts undefended and feud on the foes within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, which is a very wide range. I think it's the same as Arvel's effect. And at the start of turn, if a foe is within 3 columns or 3 rows, again, you neutralize any penalty and grants dodge to herself. So this is insane. She didn't have any damage reduction, but now it's like this skill, I got you covered. There's the damage reduction. The penalty that you neutralize does not include penalties inflicted at the start of turn, so you have to keep that in mind. And the undefended is basically the save, anti-save. So Unit cannot be protected by Savior through their next action, which is huge. So you could, this is a status, so you know, it's not like always going to proc. I guess you can still stop it because it's a start of turn effect with like Elamine, but of course Elamine is not a light mythic, so there's no equivalent light mythic for this. So it's gonna be very hard to stop. Pretty much always automatic whatever she's in combat, because she can transform no matter what, and then she has the ability to stop save units. So a lot of the top tier save tanks, you know, are just not going to be able to do it. So very amazing. And she also has the fuse skill, which disables all ally skills excluding the unit during combat. So I know this is very confusing to some people, but basically how it works is it's similar to Bramamon's skill, and it's just better than Bramamon's C skill, honestly. So basically what it means is if let's say the save unit or any kind of unit has like buffs from distant guard or close guard, Severance here will be able to ignore that because it is an ally skill of the target. So yeah, that's how feud works, and she's just amazing. So she's definitely a top tier dark mythic. We just had Medius this year, who's also amazing, having the end guard and cancel control, and now Embla here is just a savage, and she's just gonna be able to rip through people, not caring at all about save tanks. And it's amazing because I never thought we'd actually get a save counter, I guess, this soon. So you know, it's very cool to see it. So I don't really use near save that much, so I mean, for far save she'll still be able to stop it, I guess, but obviously it won't even trigger anyway because she's a melee unit. But you know, green armors are even in more shambles because Embla is a red unit and she's so strong. So green save tanks are not the best right now, especially after this. But you know, we do have a direct counter to save skills now. So I know a lot of people I've known absolutely hate save skills. I know they are definitely annoying for sure, and definitely meta. So now we have an actual answer to them, even if it is a dark mythic, but still, that's amazing. So Embla, definitely a top tier dark mythic. I think almost pretty much around the leagues of Medius, even better than Medius in some ways for sure. Definitely offensively she's way better. But yeah, so that is Embla, and of course her beast sprite is insane. So yeah, that is Embla, just going to destroy this blue Manakete. Definitely one of the best dark mythics. We'll have to see, of course, how she fares in the meta, but I mean, we know the meta is saves and she can stop that entirely. She does not care. Alright, so after these two amazing red units, let's look at the rest of the units on the banner. We have Bramamon, who we just talked about with the feuds. Now, poor Bramamon, he's just waiting for his remix. We have Hell, Saros, Dagger, Legendary Micaiah, My Beloved, Legendary Sheeta, Legendary Nana, Ymir, Ascended Celica, and Legendary Deirdre. So let's go over the colors and rank them. So red is definitely stacked because you have two of the newest really strong units, especially Embla. If you're play Aether Race competitively, you definitely want to get her, and I kind of want to get her myself. She would be amazing to have on my defense team for sure, because Medius is already good, but having her would just make it even better because stopping saves is amazing. So having a direct meta counter would be great to have, and also in the red you have Legendary Nana, who's an amazing nuke as well. So yeah, red is definitely, I think, the best color. Then next would be let's see. Green is kind of a dud because I don't know, Hell is not the best mythic right now. Dagger, she does have Pathfinder, but you don't really see her as much as her sister. And Ymir is really good for sure, especially in Summoner Duels. She's really annoying to deal with her Drive Miracle. But green is definitely, I think, the worst color. Then next, second worst would be probably colorless. It just depends, because colorless, we talk about Bramamon. You know, he was really good when he came out, but now, especially now with Hell having feud and anti-save in one skill, you know, Bramamon and feud skills itself also, and Bramamon just not hitting as hard as he used to be. He can still be pretty good though. I mean, having the feud in his weapon, or not his weapon, his C skill is still great. But yeah, he may not be the most desirable unit. You have Ascended Celica, who arguably is better now because she has the miracle effect to just annoy people, you know, allow wings and mercy strategies. Legendary Micaiah, you know, it's Micaiah. She does the same thing all the time, having the dual effectiveness and also having that desperation as well. So she's always been solid. But I'm not sure if it's worse than blue. So blue, you have Legendary Sheeta, Legendary Deirdre, and Saros. So Saros is kind of a dud. Her fodder is not the best, but she's still a defense mythic that's pretty decent. And Legendary Deirdre, you don't see her much, but she's pretty good. She has a pure F special, hits pretty hard. And Legendary Sheeta, I don't need to say much about her. She's an amazing unit in my opinion. A lot of people don't think she's that great, but a lot of people just think she's you know, just a mage counter. for Cavaliers and stuff, but she can do much more than that. She can hit very hard if you do invest into her, much harder than you might think. So is worse is colorless or blue? I'm not sure. Kind of a toss up. I'd say it's tied honestly because they both have really good units. Maybe blue, I guess, because Ascended Celica is seen better than Legendary Sheeta in most cases, I guess, and even Deirdre, but it's pretty close. So I'd say red is the best color, blue is the colorless is the next best color, then blue, then green. So that's my rankings on the colors, and yeah, let me know what you guys think about this banner. We're heading into book 7. There was that movie, which was interesting. We didn't get any setup for book 7, so who knows where we're going for that book. So yeah, Embla is an amazing unit, and I know some people looked at feud skills and they thought those were save counters, but they don't account for actual save skills in the sea. They just account for other skills, I guess. So they just never worked for saves, but now we actually have a direct counter to saves. I mean, I know there was that one captain skill in Summoner Duels, but that doesn't really count. But now we have an actual direct counter, so the save meta is not dead. Some people might see this and think it's just dead, but it's not. It's only one unit that actually can counter it directly. So you have to watch out for Embla, especially if you're using a save unit, but you know, you can mitigate that if you just don't run a save, you just run like an Omni tank, but even then she can get really fast and really strong. So Embla is just an insane unit. Definitely going to be scared to face her for sure, but I'd love to get a copy of her, but I really should save my orbs. So I don't know, I'd probably just pull in the redstone if there's a free. Maybe I'll spark, I don't know, I probably should, but Black Friday just happened. I've been spending my orbs, so I gotta chill. But yeah, anyways, that's my reaction to first impressions to the Embla and Veronica banner. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you comment, leave a like if you enjoyed listening to me ramble, as always, and please stay safe out there. Peace out.